Okay. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, and welcome to the fifth episode of Careers Over Coffee with me, Ayushi, and my co host, Sanchit Pava.
Hi everyone.
Okay, so the journey of our show has been very interesting so far. We feel so delighted to invite our old students to our show and share their experience with our students. So, without any further delay, I would like to invite the guest for today, Mr. Ajar Mathur of 2001 batch. Welcome to our show, Ajar, and we are so glad to have you.
Thank you,
Hello
ma'am.
sir.
And it's up. Hi, Sanchit.
I
Thank you
was
for having me here. It is absolutely an honor. It feels like homecoming after 20 years.
Yeah, so you're from 2001 batch. That's like 20 years back. So, how do you feel connecting with your school after 20 years?
As I said, it's just like a homecoming. I think most of the students who would be listening to me would not even have born when I passed my schooling. So it's definitely a great feeling. I have a great reminiscence of what St. Edmunds has given to me and how St. Edmunds has really helped me in shaping what I am today. So it's absolutely fantastic seeing the pain sir around and what St. Edmunds is now. It's absolutely amazing. And connecting back, as I said, it's definitely homecoming.
Okay, so let me tell our audience a little bit about Ajar. Ajar is working with EY Ernst and Young as associate directors with more than 10 years of consulting experience in business process management domain. So in today's episode, we are going to eat up your head. We are going to ask you questions related to your career, education, life, and many more. So are you ready for it?
Oh, absolutely. Happy to share what I can.
So Sanchit was really excited for having you on our show and talking to you. So let's have the first question from Sanchit.
Sure.
okay, sir. So can you please tell us about your current job profile and what is the job all about actually, and what's your role in it?
Sure, Sanjit. So, as Ayushi ma'am talked about that, I am working with Ernst& Young, or it's popularly known as EY. I am working there as an associate director, but from a job profile perspective, I lead a global business process management team. I'll take a step back and talk about what EY is. I'm not very sure how many of us know what EY is. EY is one of the big four professional services company. It has its offering on four areas, where one is financial audit. So we are the auditors for the biggest firms. Then the second one is we manage the cross-functional tax issues and tax strategy. We have all the mergers and acquisitions. So most of the big time, big ticket mergers and acquisitions, one of the big four is involved into it. And the last one is consulting, where we are doing the advisory work. So my job is more sitting towards the consulting. And as the word business process management say, we work with our big clients to really identify how their strategy should be, how their business operating model should be. And operating model should be very easy as for, let's take an example of an admin school. So how probably what is the process of admission? So, and what should be the leading practice process for admission? So that's what we typically define for different organizations. We work with them. In this, I have personally a great team of 30 plus consultants all across the globe. And in a very daily routine, to be honest, I'll work with my clientele to really understand what their problem statements are, why they are looking for cost reduction, and how I can really optimize their processes. And on the other side, of course, leading this 30 plus members team, I have my work around managing the team, so people management aspects also. So that's what typically my role, what it defines as.
Okay, that was quite
Great.
impressive.
Thank you.
Sanchit,
Thank you.
you got your answer?
Yes.
Okay, so now that we know about your job profile, let's have a flashback of your journey so far. Were the things
Hmm.
always in line with your plans, or did you actually know what you wanted to do always, or did you just go with the flow? How did it happen?
Oh, I was a very determined student starting my school days. No, I'm actually very lying. This is something which probably one of some of my peers who would be seeing me would know that I was not, to be honest. No, I would never really was focused on what I want to achieve. Uh, if I take a quick step back and talk about my ambitions actually kept changing. So I started initially. I come from an army background. My grandfather was in army. My uncle is still serving army. So I always wanted to get into defense services. That happened till probably 10th and 11th. Then I realized that no, there are better probably ways to earn money, and I got into professional DJing. I wanted to really explore my musical angle. And got into event management. Actually, to be honest, with a couple of our alumni, Srinath and Akshat, we actually started a company called Sizzlers the Entertainers, which was an event management company. We worked a little bit. It had a short stint, but it was absolutely amazing. But then the ambition kept on changing from becoming a businessman to an engineer, probably to doing an MBA. And to be honest, on a very lighter side, I think I should have gone into Bollywood because I wanted to do so many roles and in a single life, but it didn't happen. I think I got my ambition, to be honest, when I was doing my engineering, my graduation. That's where I started focusing more. I got a little more serious that now it's the time to earn money and where I should earn money, where my really focus lies. So I did my engineering from Rajasthan University, Purnima College of Engineering. Probably most of you would be aware of it. After that, I worked for approximately a year with Patni Computers. But I realized that it's not my cup of tea. I can't work in an IT firm and do a lot of coding. So, and I think it's a very drastic difference than the previous episode. One of our alumni was so much into coding, and I was absolutely completely flipped to it. Then I did my MBA from Symbiosis Center for Information Technology, and that's where probably I picked up my path of business analysis, consulting, and that's how I landed up into different organizations. Like I started my journey with Tech Mahindra, spent there some time, Wipro Technologies, and approximately 10 years back, I joined EY, and then it has been a journey of business process management. Yeah, so I really believe that I am a very happy-go-lucky guy kind of a personality. So to answer your question, it actually wasn't planned. I just went with the flow for most of my career.
Okay. So you did engineering and then you realized that okay, I'm not interested in coding.
Exactly, exactly. I think coding needs a lot more self-satisfaction, which I never had. And plus, there was a lot of logical reasoning that you need to do. I am more of a person of words as compared to probably just coding it out. So yeah, I was not. Which
Okay.
I'm not saying is not a right thing. Is the need of the hour, but yes, wasn't for me.
Yeah, but it's never too late to realize what you actually want and work for it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. Sanchit?
Nowadays, there is a lot of pressure on the students for scoring well in the boards, then getting admission in a top college, followed by
Yeah.
getting a well-paid job. Was the scenario same back in 2001? What change have you observed in the education system in these 20 years?
Yeah. So I think to answer your question, if you're talking about stress of or test anxiety, as we say, or examinophobia, as we really term it right now, it was always there. It existed when we were there. It was absolutely, you can't deny that people were not stressed. And I think the situation hasn't changed much. It was partially because you had your pressure inside that you have to perform well for getting into, as you were suggesting, getting into better colleges, landing up good jobs. But partially, and in fact, I would say the majority part was societal pressure. And I remember when I got into 10th and I was with St. Helens, whenever I used to step out, every auntie in my colony used to say, boards hai, padna hai. And that kept on adding a lot of pressure. So I think that was there, to be honest, to answer that question. Uh, but I also believe that in that time, probably 20 years back, we were not having a lot of options. I mean, if you are a science, like Sanchit, you are a science student, there were very few things that you could do. You could either do computer applications, so you could do BCA, or you can get into engineering, or if you are a bio student, you can get into probably get into your MBBS if you are smart enough, like some of our friends. So, and if you're in commerce, then probably you'll get into BCom. Those were like very limited. So, with limited options and you have so many people, it becomes much more important for you to score better. But other thing was also that first division was a good marks. Nowadays, if you ask anyone, anything beyond 90% probably is not even seen as percentage. Nobody talks about
Okay, I think we have lost him. Okay. Ajar, are you there? Mm, okay, he's back.
am I back? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not able to hear you.
Um, we lost you in the middle of this conversation, and now we can hear you, we can see you, but I don't know what's the case on your side. Okay, sorry, audiences. These technical errors come up sometimes, and we have to deal with it. I think all of us are used to now, since everything is happening digitally these days, so these things are quite normal.
Absolutely. Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah, now we
Yeah.
can hear you.
Yeah, so I was about to say that 20 years, what has changed? Probably 20 years back, this would not have happened because probably I would be sitting in the school and having these conversations, so we would not have the breakage. And my sincere apology, it was my network which got dropped. So sorry for that. But yes, coming back to the question, I think the point that I was trying to drive that the pressure was probably not as paramount as today is, because my parents never took my percentage as their status symbol. Unfortunately, the truth of the society is, and which I include myself, I have a 10 years old kid, and his marks does impact me from a societal pressure perspective. That how he's scoring versus how the other person is scoring. So yes, that is definitely there. Uh, in 20 years, if but probably I'll take a step back. To be honest, after spending 20 years and approximately 13 years in the corporate world, trust me, grades, your percentages would only play a limited role. They are not the everything. So it's very important for us to understand what is our personality, what we like, and then only you'll excel in a career. Marks would only get you into the colleges, and after that, it is up to you. So rather than taking a stress of your marks, I would rather take an interest in yourself and what I like and do that. On education system, I think I'll quickly make a point. The world has changed dramatically. I think the concepts are now very much practical. And thanks to the organizations like Byju's, like Unacademy, who are bringing the concepts to life in a 3D mode, and it is fantastic. And I think I saw that St. Edmunds is also has announced a tie-up with Unacademy, which is brilliant. I think this is a great movement because when we used to get our learnings, be it anything, be it maths, be it prism, be it trigonometry, anything, any concept, it was just a concept. Nowadays, with smart boards, teachers are so much well acknowledged with the technology part. We are into a completely different era. We have made things much more simplified. Ratification or ratification, that terminology has completely gone, or should have completely gone now, because now the concepts are so practical. You just understand and get it. So yes, I have seen great amount of advancement in our education system, and people are smarter. Sanchit, people like you who are facing the video, having these conversations, it's amazing. So I think hats off to the education system.
Yeah, the world has gone digital, so has the education system. The students, our
Absolutely,
students, they are learning online. We are having this live session online, so it's all about technology now. So
absolutely,
I think that's
absolutely.
the major change. that that we are
Yes, and
seeing.
I think and I think the method has also changed. I remember how I want to say this. So I'll take a quick example. When I started my studies and started writing English, the first letter we were taught was A, and then we said A, B, C, D. That's how the alphabets used to really taught us. When my son got into studies and the first letter he started writing was L, and I was very perplexed that why would you start something like L. And when I had this conversation, they gave me the whole theory behind it, that what is the standing line and how the slant line and sleeping line and how the writing would really, the cursive writing would come into picture, and I was blown away. So technology has definitely played a part, for sure, but I think teachers like you are investing so much to devise out new methods. I think you are just not leaving things that this is what CBSE NCRT book says. Read it. These are the two questions which are important. These are the three questions which are not, and students just take it. No, I think it's more about giving these students 110% understanding of that concept. So I would really say it's a collaboration of method and the technology, and it has come out beautifully.
Yeah, education system is actually evolving. So
Absolutely.
we're having many comments from our audience, but we'll take all of them at the last. So audience, you
Sure.
will have to wait for some more time. Okay, so Ajay, leadership is about vision and responsibility and not just about power. So, how
Yeah.
much do you agree with my thought? You are a global business process management leader at EY, and which is a very big responsibility. So, what's your take on leadership, and how do you manage to handle such big team at your organization?
Uh, First of all, Ajmam, I absolutely 100% agree with the statement of Seth Berkley that it's more about vision and not about the power. How I see this, it's actually leadership is more of a responsibility rather than an authority. I think it's more about the the quality in you rather than a position or a rank. And I also believe that it's a skill which can be really, really developed. So that's how I have seen leadership. For me, I would really say that anyone who has three things. The first one, and a craftsmanship of seeing the vision. So someone who can really stay in present and look at the future. That's one. Second one, who is can enable trust and can also trust other people. That's the second part. And the third part is someone who can empower others and be little more giving. These are the three things. If anyone who can do it, I mean, they are ready for being a leadership. As I was saying, I joined EY almost 10 years back, and I was a pilot member of that team. So I was the first one of these 33 member team that I'm leading right now. And EY gave me all the platform. I was very, very, I have to say that I was lucky that I got an opportunity to work on crafting the vision and mission of the team. It gave me empowerment to really take decisions. I joined as a senior analyst. I mean, it's a second entry grade when I joined, but they entrusted on me and they trusted that I can do what I'm supposed to do, and they empowered me to take decisions. When these three things came together, it was very cakewalk for me, to be honest. Now, for how typically I was able to manage, as I said, it being a pilot member, every other team member who came into the team was recruited by me. And I think I have to, sorry, I'm putting my modesty at a pedestal, but I think that I'm a good people manager. I connect with people at a humanity level rather than at a resource level, and that helped me a lot. That was the strength that gave me a connect with individuals, where when I was suggesting something, they actually took it as their own responsibility. And what I was doing when, like, entrusting them, I was also empowering them. So that cycle kept on going, and it had a wonderful starting. I mean, in 10 years, when we started with just one person, that was me, and today we are supporting more than $1 billion revenue generation for the firm. It has been a story in itself. But I believe it is always about vision. It is always about what you want to achieve. It's always about how you can do things for others. every good deed that you do for others is going to come back and it's going to reflect on you. So that's what leadership for me.
Okay, we are actually loving your insights. Ajay, great. You are a very good
Oh,
speaker
thank
as
you.
well.
Oh, that's part of my job. So,
Yeah, you're into consulting jobs, so that shows the way you speak. It's
right.
actually very impressive.
Thank you. Thank you. But yes, I'm getting paid for it, so I have to hone that skill.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, sir. So leadership qualities are required in every step of our lives. How did school
Absolutely.
help you in incubating leadership qualities, and how did it help you in your journey? Can you tell
Yeah.
us what we can do to start building transformative leadership qualities at school level?
Yeah, yeah. So, Sanjay, to be honest, my take is that school is like a cocoon, right? This is where we are in the most vulnerable state, and when you are vulnerable, that's where all the incubation or the new things can be learned, right? It's that like when you are trying to mold yourself once you are into a college or once you are into probably at a job portal orientation, you would have your own ways of thinking, and you'll become inflexible. Right now, the flexibility is absolutely at the topmost level. This is a time where the actual inculcation of leadership qualities should happen, and this is the right place to happen. And I 110% hands down believe that St. Edmunds has always been a firm believer of empowerment, as I talked about earlier. It has always given students a podium to really hone their skills, be it through the means of sports, be it through the means of debates, be it through the means of having a culture of these what we used to call as prefects, or I don't know whether the terminology is still there or not,
Yeah, it's still
but
there.
it is still there? Okay. This was the podium that you identify people and you ensure that they hone their skills. They get that platform to try their skills. I was a sports captain when I joined 11th, and I think I very vividly remember that I was very surprised that why I've been chosen as a sports captain. I was not good at the sports, to be honest. There were many people like Kshitij, Abhinav, who were great in sports. Uh, but I think Agrawal ma'am that time was leading that complete assignment. And when I had this conversation with her, she told me that it is my duty to eye that who has that leadership quality and needs to be honed. That's the power of student. You will never, or that's the power of being a student in a school, because you'll never get that kind of focus outside. Now, as a if I really remember, my responsibilities was to maintain discipline when there was an assembly, ensuring that people children are going from assembly to the classes. They were like probably Ayushi ma'am is busy right now for designing a good card for Aja, and Ayushi's ma'am class is not there, so a prefect or someone would be there to ensure that the discipline is maintained. These were very basic things that we got to learn when we were in the school. uh, I was also hearing another episode where I think this. I'm sorry if I'm not remembering the name, but they also told that teachers used to pick up that who all have already participated in debates, and people who have not raised their hands, they were made to really believe in part
Yeah.
or take part into those debates. It's an amazing culture. Outside world, outside this cocoon, you only those people who have the courage would lead. People who are taking a step back or putting things at back burner, you'll never get an opportunity. So my sincere opportunity to school and probably to the students is that utilize this moment, take part in everything that you do. I mean, when we started, we joined this school. It was a new building, which is right now. We were not very sure that how much sports we can do in that compound, and trust me, we did everything. We had our 4x4 relays. We had cricket. We had, of course, basketball was our prime game. We had our table tennis, shot put. You ask all the sports. So school can only bring platform to you. school can only ensure that you get an opportunity to hone your skills. And I think St. Edmunds has done a fantastic job. I have to give it that that sorry using that word, but that kida of leadership is something that actually happened when I took on the sports captain or that role that I picked up. That's where I started feeling that yes, I can do this. I can really be more confident and take care of a lot more bigger responsibilities beyond just studying. So yeah.
So the journey of leadership, journey of becoming a leader starts from school.
I would absolutely 110% believe that
Yeah,
that journey has to start with as I said, leadership is a skill and it has to be developed. And school is an area where you can really develop this. Sports is I mean, I'm sure you have more access to global libraries than probably we used to have. You all know that sports is the biggest way to really learn the teaming and the leadership. And
absolutely.
so you have to really go ahead and do it, and school is supporting you big time. I mean, the kind of events, basketball events, CBSE events are happening in our school. I mean, it's brilliant. So that's typically school is giving. And I remember in our days also we had everything, which helped me.
Okay, so my next question would be that since you have having 10 years of experience in consulting, so tell us about one challenge that you faced during a project or an assignment and how you solved it. I mean, you can explain it to us in a layman language so that our students can understand it and learn from your experience.
Yeah. I think challenges, rather than picking up on a specific instance, let me give you a majority of challenges happens because of the communication. I think communication is the biggest issue in any kind of work we do, especially in consulting. So we have always fallen prey of either over communication or under communication or miscommunication. These are three kinds of communications. We always have fallen prey to it. Most of the times when we work with client on projects, I think I would be wrong to really, or if I would not be wrong to commit if 90% of the times clients don't even know what they are looking for. So it's important to communicate and understand that whether the requirements which are said are right or whether the requirements unsaid are right. So you have to definitely understand while you are communicating, you're able to understand what is required and what is hinted, not said. So you need to really uncover those unsaid requirements. I remember, I mean, this is just for the laugh that I remember we were working for a particular client, and when we met the client after the delivery, and I was very happy with the delivery, to be honest. The team did a fantastic job, and the first thing that the client asked me that, what is this? And I said, this is what you were looking for. And he asked me, from which angle? And I thought that he's just kidding around. And I said, from every angle. And then he started giving me the snags. So we have that snag list, right? What is not working, what is working. Trust me, we produced a solution which had 24 points, 24 different modules. Every module had more than 15 snags. More than 15 snags. And probably when we did our RC or root cause analysis, we realized that the communication really didn't work there. We assumed. I hope you understand what is assume. So
Yeah.
yeah, right. So I mean, if you see, you are making a stupid of you and me. That's what assume really means. So never do that. And also. The second thing is, I think this is something which probably we all need to learn from the beginning. That's being inquisitive. Inquisitiveness is directly reduces any doubts or the unclarity. So ask more questions always. I think as a student also probably this is something which we need to really inculcate, that asking the questions, and it is okay. No question is a stupid question. Most of the times we don't ask questions because, oh, probably my peer knows the answer, and if I ask, I would feel like a dumb. Sorry,
Yeah.
using that word, but that is the mostly the feeling that we have. But trust me, it's better to feel dumb when you're asking a question than to feel a dumb when you're presenting it to the client, which I felt that day. So you have to
Totally.
choose when you want to really see that. But yes, I think most of, to answer that question, to be really summing it up, I think communication is the biggest challenge in all the projects that we do. And we have, uh, now we have a communication management group. So they really, really manage what client is saying, what they are not saying. So it's a stream altogether now. So yes, and ask questions. That's important.
Okay, so Sanchit, ask questions.
Yes,
Yes.
you're doing good, Sanchin, on that.
Okay, so
Uh,
my next question.
yeah.
I have heard
Mhm.
that there is a lot of work pressure in the corporate world, especially when you reach at higher level. Is that really the case? And how do you manage work-life balance?
Uh, as the test anxiety, as the stress of your exams, pressure of scoring marks, work pressure is also a reality. It in corporate world, it's a little more higher. When you, depending upon the organization, things changes. Of course, the work pressure changes. If you're working for a startup, probably the work pressure is of a different nature compared to probably when you're working for an established firm like EY, the work pressure is a little different. And also work pressure keeps changing. It's a sinusoidal wave, to be honest. There are times when you have to um, really forget everything and just indulge yourself into work. There are times when you can be really, really free. But yes, the honesty answer is work pressure is to be around. So you can't erode it, you can't deny it. But my question, probably how I see this, or my ways of thinking from a work pressure perspective, is if you are liking the work, if you are enjoying the work, if it's a part of your passion, then work becomes fun. And when you're having a fun, I mean, I'm sure, Sanchit, you would be playing some games on your mobile, though you are a
Yeah.
PCM student. You shouldn't be, huh? But still, I'm sure that you would be. I was a PUBG player, big time PUBG player. So it was. I can tell you that it's a pressure. You have to save yourself. You can't get hit. It's a pressure, but you would take that pressure because you are enjoying it, because it's a fun. Similarly, if you are working in a domain that you like, if you're working in a domain which is part of your passion, then it's very easy to deal with work pressure. You would have your tough days, you would have your sleepless nights, you would burn your midnight oil, but you will not take it as a stress, you will not take it as a pressure, you will enjoy it. I am a person who looks world in boxes and arrows. So for me, everything I can draft a process for anything, from my morning routine to probably creating a masala tea. I can draft a process. That's my passion, and I'm into that world. I'm into a business process management world. So I had my share of sleepless nights. I have had share of working till 3 a.m., 4 a.m., sometimes all across the night, because there's a important, we are working with the global counterparts, we have our global clients, so you have to manage. But it's fair enough. On a work life balance, I think it's important that you understand what is your life. For me, life is a family. Probably at the early part of it, it was your friends. So you have to understand who's what percentage of importance you need to give. At a family level, you need to give more importance. I have my kid who is a 10 years old, needs more attention. So I need to take a very focused understanding of how much I would work, what would be my schedule, and I would need to take out some time in a week. Daily is not possible, to be honest, but in a week, I would not work for my weekends. My weekends are absolutely for my family. And my family also then understand this, that yes, if so champ my, sorry my son understand that if I need to have fun with that, then it has to be on Saturdays, or Friday night to Sunday night is mine, and he's not going to touch his laptop. So that's how I'm managing. So You have to understand work pressure is there, but if it's a passion, you will manage it. And if you can schedule your work, it's all good.
Okay, so I think we are running out of time. So let's have the last question from Sanchit, and we are then after we are going to take comments from the audience. Sanchit, next question, please.
Yes. What is that one thing that you would have rather done differently in school? Could you please give some advice to the students of my age on how to shape their future and especially their career?
Yeah. So, Sanjit, I have two advice. One thing, a mistake from my life. I did not focus on studying books. And when I say studying books, I'm talking about any kind of books. It's just not NCRT. I think now I realize that studying your leadership books, studying novels, that reading as a habit is very, very important to inculcate. You all would have really heard and learned about this, that books are the best friends of a human, and it is actually the truth. Because most of the times when I started studying, I was or started reading, I was already into a leadership role, and it was an enforced decision that I had to take. Because when you are on a podium, people are talking about something absolutely different, and you don't have a clue about it. It becomes a little different for you to really manage. And I always believe that the growth always happens when you are growing yourself. We always believe in better me, better environment, and better working world. So you have to invest in yourself. That's the first one. The second one is also probably more for science students, because I was from the science background, and probably Sanchit, for you especially, that we feel that the commerce subjects like accountancy and everything is only for commerce. But we need to really remember that world is working on business. So whatever, probably you can create the best of the R&D oriented solution you can create. If you don't understand the commerce side of it, you would be lagging. So two things which I definitely want to give away to probably at your age. One thing is definitely start reading. Start from slow, but make it as a habit. And second thing is, from a science perspective, commerce is important. So focus on the understanding of a business. That's important. It would help you at any nook and corner.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you so much for your advice. I'm sure the students must have learned so much today, really. Okay, so now we
Yeah,
have a
happy to
message
be
from
here.
administrator, ma'am, specially for you. I'll read it
Oh
out for
wow.
you. Yeah, I'm extremely happy and proud to see how you have grown in life. My blessings and best wishes are with you. May you achieve all the success and happiness in life. Keep working hard. So she's watching you live and she has sent this message.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. I think what I am here, you have played a very, very important role in it. So thank you for really doing what you have been doing. And I'm sure that the school is very, very blessed to have you around.
Absolutely. We all love her and it's great to have a message from her. And okay, so next we have many messages, but I think most of them we have covered in the whole conversation. There were some
Hmm.
questions. So Veena Huja ma'am has welcomed you. After that,
Thank you, ma'am.
we have some parents. And there's a, I think this is your, this must be your batchmate. I'm reliving our memories, buddy, Abhinav Saxena.
Yes, he is. He's the same Abhinav who I believe should have been the sports captain than me. Yes, thanks,
Yeah.
Abhinav.
So he has also, posted many comments, Abhinav Saxena, and Dipen, we have a message from Dipen. So it is a pleasure having you with all your experience, and we are
Thank you,
loving your
Dipen sir.
advice. And there's
Thank you, Dipen sir.
another message from Dipen. Sir, it's a pleasure having you here. I'm absolutely loving your amazing insights and learning so much here. Since you are in the workforce at such important position, what skills would you suggest every school student must develop to do well in their career?
Yeah. So I think one thing which I always believe, that in order to have skills, you need to understand your passion. You need to spend some time in introspecting that what you like. because right now you have options. We never had options. You guys have options of doing anything like graphic designing. There's so much options which are available, which is beyond traditional probably ways of working. So understand, first thing is understand your passion, and then start working towards identification of what skills are needed towards it. Uh, some of the softer skills are always important. I talked about communication. Communication is very, very important aspects. Orating is very, very important, that you, and I think school is giving you podiums to leverage it. Practice makes a man perfect, and you have to do that. So communication is definitely important. Empathy is one thing which is a very uh, probably a leadership skill which not talked about so much, but I think empathy means that you understand the other person, you invest some time in understanding the feeling what others are going through. It's a magic, because if you can understand that what Sanchit is feeling right now, my next statement would be towards making him smile or soothe him, and I'm going to have a better communication and better connect. So yes, from your core skills perspective, identify your passion, and for your softer skills, communication is the most important one, and empathy is what I would also really say that you should inculcate.
Okay. Thank you so much. I hope this audience is enjoying. I'm sure everybody is enjoying this conversation so much that usually the conversation is of 30 minutes, 35 minutes, and today
Oh,
it's already 40 minutes, and we still have so many questions remaining, so many comments to be answered. But let me take this last one from
mhm.
Bhavna Gyamlani. So she's asking, hey Ajar, I want to ask one thing that I want to ask is that everyone wants to join Big Four at least once in their life. It's very difficult to reach there. Can you suggest one how one can be there?
uh, oh, I'll break a myth that Big Four is the only best companies of the world. I'll want to break that myth. Yes, Big Four has its own aura, uh, but I think Big Four is also hiring from among ourselves. So yeah, it's a difficult question how to get into a Big Four, but yeah, send me a resume. That's the easiest answer I can say.
Yeah, you all can. I
But,
The audience can connect with you on LinkedIn.
absolutely. I can.
Yes,
I think for yes, absolutely. I have my LinkedIn profile, and you can definitely connect with me. But I definitely would like to give a quick 30 seconds for Bhavna that I have never treated EY or any Big Four while giving interview uh, as a different company. I think it's important that you understand the need of an organization and how you are fulfilling that need. End of the day, it's a demand and supply game. To be honest, they have a demand. If you can supply that, and if there's a matching happening, you fit like hand in a glove. It's done. So if you are giving an interview, first of all, don't even think that it is a Big Four or they have a high standard. They do not have their higher standards of recruitment. It's always a similar where you are giving it for any other IT company. We also hire the same way. So yeah, no magic spell that is needed for Big Four.
Okay. So the most common, I will just sum it up for you. The most common comment that we got for today's session is that you are an amazing and excellent speaker. So everybody is
Oh, thank
loving
you.
the way you speak, and yeah, you're a great
Oh,
orator.
thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. And I think, as I said, it's part and parcel of my salary. So yes, but it was great having here. I mean, thank you for having me here. It was a great experience. And I hope that I would be able to meet Dipen sir. I need to get used to calling Dipen as Dipen sir, but I would definitely and
Yeah, just
definitely
he
meet.
told me that he was way too junior in your when you were in school.
Yes, exactly. He was, and but now he has a podium, and he has he's doing different types. So, Dipen, if you're listening to me, congratulations for taking St. Edmunds to that level where it is. I am a thorough follower of your motivational work that you are doing. I feel so proud. I know I have seen you when you were in those check shirts, our uniform, and now when I see you in those suits and you are taking those classes, it feels very proud. So thank you for doing what you are doing for St. Edmunds.
Okay, so we have a message from Dipen sir again that Dipen sounds better. When you called him Dipen sir, so he is saying Dipen sounds better.
Thank you.
Okay, so I am sure we must have skipped many questions today. Sorry, audience, if I could not take your comment, but we are running out of time, and I skipped my questions also. I had two, three more questions, but we can't take this any further. It's already 45 minutes. So thank you so much, Ajay, for being on our show. It was really very great to have you. I think this was the best episode so far. We enjoyed a lot, and it was our
Thank
immense
you.
pleasure.
Thank you, Aishu ma'am,
Thank you
and
so
thank you for having this journey. Was also pretty smooth. Having your communication with you, Sanchit. Thank you for spending time and asking those questions. It was very intelligent questions, and I think it definitely forced me to think beyond. So thank you, and to all the people who are listening in, thank you for listening in. And if you have more questions, and if I can be of any help, please connect me over LinkedIn. I would definitely be happy to support.
Thank you so much. I think the audience they will definitely, try to connect with you and get some more insights because
Absolutely.
the time today went on very fast. I didn't realize that it was already 45 minutes. Really.
Well, I love the every minute of it. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much, Ajal, for coming to our show. Thanks, Sanchit, for being an amazing co-host, and thank you so much to our lovely audience for being on the show, asking comments and participating. And bye to all of you. And we'll see you all again with some more exciting episodes of Careers Over Coffee. Till then, stay tuned. Okay,
Take care.
bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, take
Bye.
care.